let's go back to this.
On Netflix.
No evidence will convince you of the truth of what you do not want, yet your relationship with him is real. And that's an important line here that kind of ties together what these first 5 paragraphs has been all about in this particular section, where it says your relationship with God is real. You may not think it's real, you may not have ever really experienced the power of that, but it's trying to say it is real. And when you're willing, as Doug kind of said, when I'm finally willing to accept it, it comes naturally. But when I build up my resistance to it, I do resist it. I do not experience this, but it is real, even if we have built up a lot of evidence to the contrary. And we look at our lives and we go, well, X, Y, Z has happened, and where was God in that, and this and all that has happened. But what this is saying is the relationship is real. We've built up a lot of blocks to it. Regard this not with fear, but with rejoicing, that your relationship with him is real. Then it goes on to say, it's kind of interesting, the one you call upon is with you. Bid him welcome and honor the witnesses who bring you the glad tidings he has come. Now, what are the witnesses that bring you these things? And these are these miracles we have in our lives all the time. Not just people, but circumstances and situations that help awaken us to this. To me, even that little movie was a good witness of the things of the world are being shown to us in all different ways. You know, whether it be in the movies or television or magazines or internet, you're hearing a lot of these same ideas said, or in your interpersonal relationships with each other, as listeners post on the listener board, as people write in, as we're talking here tonight, there are a lot of witnesses to bring this glad tidings that he is here, that awareness is here. What are we going to say, Frank?
I've been wanting to read Hugh's daily quote from March 17th. I think it's exactly this about what is real. Our goal is to become more of what we are at our core, to become more real. Either we decide life or it decides us. And I think this next part is the witnesses you'll get. With one choice is strength and hope based on vision and an ever-expanding sense of wholeness. With the other choice is a spreading sense of powerlessness and unreality.
Yeah.
So you will start to see the witnesses just within yourself.
Yeah, that you want to see. You know, and it's kind of, you were mentioning March 17th. March 17th, 2005 was 10 years ago. That was when my dad made his transition into eternal life. So I always remember that day, St. Patrick's Day. And it's a good day because my dad loved to celebrate. He liked to have fun. And so that being the day that he made his transition is such a beautiful day and a beautiful remembrance, because his death was such a release to freedom. Just the opposite of what the ego would say. The ego would say your death is the end of you. But I could so fully see that when I had the great privilege of being there as my dad took his last breath, and it was such a beautiful release and such peace as he opened his eyes after having his eyes closed for, the last week or so. He was in kind of a coma state. That he opened his eyes at the very end, and I was stunned that he could actually open his eyes. And they were different. His eyes had been brown and they turned blue. And I think I've told you the story. There were little bluebirds always around his window there at the intensive care unit. And, and the nurses said there really are no bluebirds around here. So these birds had just come when he was going through this process. And my dad I think I've told you that story. My dad always loved the Bluebird of Happiness, that little song back in the 40s. There was a little song about that. And he would always sing that. And my mother, who'd passed on before, was always like a little bird. So we kind of thought she was there taking him on. And I think I told you later that one of our listeners wrote in and told me that the bluebird was the Indian totem animal, which signified transition from one level of existence to another. So to me, the fact that the bluebird was there was kind of like a perfect example of the fact that he was moving from this existence to another existence. There was no death. The Son of God was free. And at the moment that he opened his eyes, he looked past us, almost through us, to something that we could not see, but it was so apparent he could. And so when I read these things that talk about releasing our physical sight and attaching to spiritual sight, it was as if to me, he had left the physical sight at that moment and could only see with spiritual eyes and could see something that we could only guess and only experience with our hearts, but probably could not see with our physical eyes.